Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com. It's Friday, September 2nd, and big day in college football. On Saturday, a couple games going tonight as well. But every Friday, going forward during football season and possibly basketball, depends on how that gentleman on the other side of me feels. And he usually feels good. Jesse Schule of jesseschule.com. Jesse, what's the good word, my friend?
Well, you're right about that, Ross. I feel pretty good today. I do. I really do.
All right. Well, that's a great feeling. It's always a great feeling when you feel good, because that usually means your mind is clear and you're focused and you're going to be picking some winners. We're going to have a couple NFL week 1 free picks well in advance here. In games between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and also the New York Jets and Baltimore Ravens. Before we get to that, Jesse, I'm assuming you want people to find you at jesseschule.com. Tell the folks what you got coming up this weekend, and also how you've been doing of late.
I've been doing quite well, Ross. Dating back to the national championship game not last year, but the beginning of 2022, 5-0 with college football. Like I say, that does count some of those late bowl games and national championship game. 2-0 start to this current season, and 8-2 in the preseason with NFL. So, that's really all I want to focus on. I mean, red hot with baseball too, but forget about that. Just write that off. Let's talk about football.
Yeah, man. Football it is. And what do you have going on this weekend in terms of college football on the premium side?
Big non-conference game of the year going on Saturday. So
Wow.
really looking forward to that.
And Jesse Schule, if you're not familiar with him, big time player, former handicapper over at covers.com, who no longer sells picks. So we're lucky. We have him on our show. This guy's a top-notch handicapper. He hails originally from Western Canada, and he's one heck of a handicapper, folks. Anyway, Jesse, NFL Week 1. We don't have a lot of results to go on, and everybody has a different approach when it comes to handicapping the opening week of the NFL regular season. What's yours?
Well, I love the fact that we got all summer to look at it. So I start in June and I work on it all summer long. And so, I mean, I'm really excited about week 1. I think week 1's full of opportunities. You can get to track the coaching hires, the player personnel movements. I don't put a lot of stock in preseason, but we have last season's results to work with. And I think what you really want to do is you want to isolate teams that might have overachieved and teams that might have underachieved, and get back to the reality of where these teams are going to be heading into this season.
Well, it takes us to our free picks. In one of those teams, the Cincinnati Bengals, who made it to the Super Bowl last year, won the AFC title game over Kansas City and at Kansas City. Surprise to a lot of people, especially if you had Cincinnati to go to the Super Bowl last season before the regular season began. Raise your hand. Now put it down, because you're a damn liar. Anyway, the Cincinnati Bengals are -6.5. The total's 44.5. And Jesse, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this game.
Well, Ross, I think I share your opinion. The Bengals overachieved last year. I am a skeptic about Cincinnati, and can they continue to get it done with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase as well as they played last year? I think they're due to take a step back this year. I look at this game, you got the Steelers coming in a divisional game, underdog, they're catching a ton of points, and the knee-jerk reaction is every sharp's got to take the Steelers. I mean, the sharp play is the Steelers. There's no doubt in my mind that that's the sharp play. But I know a lot of sharps, Mr. Ross Benjamin, and I know that they're wrong at least 40% of the time, including myself. Yeah. So, sometimes the sharp play isn't always the best way to go. And let's break this down really. I'm really concerned about the Steelers' offensive line. Big Ben's in retirement now, and we got young quarterbacks coming in. One of the things I looked at was the release time for Big Ben. He 2.33 seconds average release time getting rid of the football, which, as I understand it, was the quickest in the NFL the last 3 years he played. So now you get these inexperienced guys coming in behind a struggling offensive line that, by the way, was ranked 30th by Pro Football Focus. The only teams were Chicago and Seattle. That is a massive problem for me even getting 6.5 points, you got a new quarterback coming in behind an offensive line like that week one on the road. I'm a little bit uncertain about that. We look at the Bengals. They did win 41-10 against Pittsburgh last year. They've won 3 straight head-to-head against Pittsburgh by double digits. Like I said, I know the sharp plays Pittsburgh, but I'd go the other way. I honestly don't see any reason why not take Cincinnati here.
Yeah. So Jesse's going with a contrarian approach, we call it. And he's going to take the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 6.5 over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, September 11th, week 1 of the NFL regular season. Boy, I love saying that, and I love hearing it too, because the NFL can't wait for that to get going. Mitchell Trubisky is scheduled to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sure you say he's inexperienced. I have to respectfully disagree with you there, but by the same token, I do agree with you on the offensive line. And again, Trubisky, it's not like he's been in the same offense year after year. This is his 3rd different offense in 3 years now. He was with Chicago. Last year was a backup with Buffalo. Rarely saw the field last year, only in mop-up duty. And this year he takes on that starting role again. I will say this, Trubisky is surrounded by a much more talented supporting cast in Pittsburgh than he ever was in as far as skilled players go, than he was ever at Chicago. So we'll see. Again, Jesse likes the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 6.5 over Pittsburgh. And he doesn't care about the Super Bowl loser hangover that we've seen in recent seasons. He's saying go against the sharp money and take the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take a look at the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Jets game. Talk about a team that's getting overwhelmed with money on it is the Baltimore Ravens in this game. This opened 4.5 and moved to 7. The last I checked this morning, I saw over 80% of the tickets bet and 80% of the money, over 80% of the money, all placed on Baltimore. And what I like to call this is a Captain Obvious play. Everybody, Baltimore's much better than the Jets. The Jets stink. Well, the line has been set accordingly. And let's not forget, yes, the Jets might be without their young starting quarterback, Zach Wilson, but you could do a lot worse with a backup than Joe Flacco. Not saying that Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in football. As a matter of fact, since he signed that big contract after Baltimore won the Super Bowl with him under center, he's never lived up to that contract. If anything, he's regressed a lot. But in any event, look, Baltimore last year went 0-4 against the spread and 1-3 straight up as an away favorite of 2 or greater. So they weren't really good in this role last year. This will be the first time the Ravens visit the Jets since 2004. The last 3 times these teams have met have all been played in Baltimore, with Baltimore winning. The New York Jets, you might be surprised to know, Jesse, since 2019, as bad as the Jets have been in recent seasons, they're 9-5 against the spread as a non-division home underdog, and that improves to 5-0 against the spread as a non-division home underdog of 5 or greater. There's 7 in this particular situation. It's a non-division game against Baltimore. Not only have they won or covered those last 5 as a non-division home underdog of 5 or greater, they've won 3 of the 5 straight up. Now the Jets have gone 0-3 straight up in ATS in their last 3 season openers, but the average margin of loss in those 3 games was just 5.3 points per game. I really think the Jets will be a vastly improved team this year. I'm not going to call for the outright upset here, although it wouldn't shock me, but I am going to take the New York Jets plus the 7 over the Baltimore Ravens as my free pick on Sunday, September 11th in the NFL. And Jesse Schule, he is on the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 6.5 over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, September 11th. Jesse, any final words?
Yeah, I like your play on the Jets, but I'm a little bit ticked off with the Jets. They released Chris Streveler after he was the GOAT of the preseason, and then he got released. So a bit disappointing for me.
Yeah, the Jets were good to you during the preseason, right, Jesse?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. So again, Jesse went 8-2 with his NFL preseason picks. I went 8-4 after an 8-1 start. Went 0-3 in the final week of the preseason, but I'll take 8-4 and 8-2 any day of the week, folks. That's a combined 16-6. If that's a precursor, an omen of things to come, we're in good shape here. So until the next time, for Jesse Schule and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Good luck and God bless, folks.